Welcome back to the channel. This is Crazy Horse, coming to you from Bangkok, Thailand. And this man is fearless.
Good evening, it's Tucker Carlson. One of the first things you realize when you step outside the noise for a few days is how many genuinely nice people there are.
If you've been living under a rock for the last 2 weeks, maybe you haven't heard that the highest rated TV host in prime time has been fired by Fox News. But of course they fired him. I mean, Fox is still part of the mainstream media, even if they're supposed to lean right, supposedly. But what took them so long? I mean, let's see. Why did they fire Tucker? Was it for bringing on RFK Jr.?
So you are, of course, being dismissed as a vaccine nut, but watching your announcement today, it wasn't about pharma even so much as it was about America's place in the world and what...
A Democrat who the rest of the mainstream media doesn't want to acknowledge that he even exists, let alone that he might be running for president, that he is running for president. He's announced it. Not one other mainstream media channel's had him on. They don't want to talk about him. They don't want to talk about his platform. They just want to write him off as a anti-vax nut. But what took Fox so long? I mean, Tucker's been getting away with things that I got banned from putting on YouTube 2-3 years ago. My video's taken off. I got strikes against me. I got banned on Facebook. I'm still banned on Facebook. I still can't put ads on Facebook, and I still can't get that fixed. But let's see. If it wasn't RFK Jr., maybe it was bringing on President Trump.
Because I did nothing wrong. Absolutely nothing wrong. They signed me in, and I'll tell you, people were crying. People that worked there, they were crying. They were actually crying. They said, I'm sorry. Tears are pouring down their eyes. I've never seen anything like that. Those people are phenomenal, of course. Many of them were in tears or close to it, of course.
Maybe that had something to do with it. How about airing the scam that was the January 6th so-called insurrection?
We're gonna make that the story.
Of course, they did make it the story. And at the center of it, the single most famous person arrested that day was a Navy veteran from Arizona called Jacob Chansley, often referred to as the QAnon Shaman.
The so-called QAnon Shaman. QAnon Shaman.
Someone named Q Shaman.
Jacob Chansley became the face of January 6th, a dangerous conspiracy theorist dressed in outlandish costume who led the violent insurrection to overthrow American democracy. For these crimes, Chansley was sentenced to nearly 4 years in prison, far more time than many violent criminals now receive. What did Jacob Chansley do to receive this punishment? To this day, there is dispute over how Chansley got into the Capitol building. But according to our review of the internal surveillance video, it is very clear what happened once he got inside. Virtually every moment of his time inside the Capitol was caught on tape. The tapes show that Capitol Police never stopped Jacob Chansley. They helped him. They acted as his tour guides. Here's video of Chansley in the Senate chamber. Capitol Police officers take him to multiple entrances and even try to open locked doors for him.
Maybe that's what pushed him over the edge. How about pointing out the advertising industry's agenda in promoting transhumanism, trannyism, the LBQT XYZ agenda, the Bud Light commercials?
So it used to be like 5 years ago, the idea was you do your thing, we do our thing, we don't bother each other. That was called tolerance. You want to dress up like a woman? Fine. Now the rules have changed completely. Worship me as I dress up like a woman or I'll crush you. That's why suddenly everything, even beer cans, are celebrating and promoting transgenderism. Bud Light has just released a commemorative can celebrating a man who dresses up like a woman. His name is Dylan Mulvaney.
How about taking on tranny teachers? Maybe that was it.
You doubtless remember the Canadian shop teacher who decided to pull the kids in his class into his weird sexual fetishes. The teacher goes by the name of Kayla Lemieux, showed up in enormous fake prosthetic breasts and wagged them at the kids. And for months, the cowardly school board in Ontario, that'd be the Halton District School Board, defended this creep. But now, under pressure, including the threat of legal action from parents, they appear to be backing down a little bit. The school board says it will require a professional dress code from teachers, meaning smaller prosthetic breasts, apparently. Well, the Canadian media ignored this story. Rebel News did not. Its reporter David Menzies has been on it from the very beginning. He joins us tonight. David, thanks so much for coming on. You look great, by the way.
Well, Tucker, on network TV, he has a...
And the Hunter Biden story, the laptop story, and the 2024 election, that's next on the list. They had to take him out before he could do any damage there, because that's the agenda for 2024. I mean, how can anybody support President Biden running again? I mean, I feel sorry for the guy. I feel for the guy, honestly. I watch him. He's clearly suffering from dementia. I mean, does the Democratic Party have no shame? How can people vote for this guy? I mean, I'm not putting him down in any way. I have sympathy for him. He should be at home with his family, having a rest. I mean, the guy is suffering, and he obviously is lost and doesn't know what's happening to him. I mean, it's a shame. It's embarrassing to the country. It's embarrassing to the Democratic Party. This is what they stand for. It's like Weekend at Bernie's, only it's our country. It's not a movie. It's not a joke. And he's not dead. He's got dementia. So they really need to take him out of office, even if that means we got to put up with Kamala Harris, who isn't a whole lot more bright than somebody with dementia. I mean, the pharma companies and their servants, the Murdochs, are behind all of this, obviously. They're not going to put up with Tucker putting people on that are against their agenda. They're fighting against this in every place, on every advertising channel. They've promoted the pandemic. They've promoted this transhumanism. They're promoting the LBQT lifestyle. They want to convince you that your kids should be exposed to that. It's insanity. And Tucker, the man, is fearless. He's the only guy out there taking this on in TV news, in the mainstream media. There's people on YouTube taking it on. There's people on other channels, BitChute and Parler, and trying to take this on. But a lot of them are banned. People I follow get banned, get knocked off YouTube. One of them got arrested in Ukraine this week for saying that the Ukraine government's a puppet government, and I'm not even going to say the word. We're sending billions and billions of dollars over there when we can't even take care of our own country, when we can't even put police on the streets to stop the crime in America. It's like every week there's a shooting. Every week I see videos of people getting beat up on the streets, in the subway, on the subway platforms. It's insane. That's why I moved my family to Thailand, where it's safe, away from America, where it's not safe. Do you get the feeling we're being prepared for something? Like lambs being sent to slaughter? Like they're putting us in the pens, getting us ready to walk down the aisle to the slaughterhouse? We've got a global financial meltdown. It's already started. It's coming. The housing bubble, the commercial real estate bubble is all going to burst. It's going to start in China. It's already happened in China, and it's going to roll across the whole world. And more people are going to get laid off. People are going to have no jobs. They're going to have no way to make these mortgage payments that they've gotten. Anybody that's buying a house right now is insane. The price of houses is at a peak still in Florida and other places. Interest rates are up. There's no way you're going to get your money back. And when the housing bubble bursts and those prices drop and people can't make their payments, insurance prices are going up in Florida. You can't even afford to buy a house now. I mean, obviously, home purchases in America are for the upper middle class and the upper class. The average working class person, the lower middle class person, they can't afford to buy a house in America anymore. Certainly not in the big metropolitan areas. So, this is, something's coming. The super bubble is about to pop. It's bubble pop time. Real estate's going to go down. The stock market's going down. It's already gone down to pre-pandemic levels. What's coming next? Another pandemic? They're taking out all the contrarian voices. Tucker's awesome. I mean, he got fired publicly without any warning. He signed off on Friday, see you on Monday, and he was gone. And then he comes back and puts a video on saying how awesome people are. Could you do that? Could you go through what he went through, public firing, and then come back on and be positive and hopeful.
Is how many genuinely nice people there are in this country, kind and decent people, people who really care about what's true, and a bunch of hilarious people also, a lot of those. It's got to be the majority of the population, even now. So that's heartening.
I mean, he's an amazing guy. I really believe Tucker Carlson is a man of courage and a man of integrity. And I can't wait to see him back, leading the fight again. Speaking for the people in America who keep voting for these lame duck politicians that keep destroying the country, keep getting us into wars, keep spending all our money on shit, keep spending all our money on foreign interventions and not fixing the infrastructure in America, wasting our tax dollars. California is now going to vote for paying reparations to African Americans, a state that never had slavery, that never allowed it, paying reparations for slavery to people who were never slaves and taxing all the people who never owned slaves to do that. And you people keep reelecting these people after they locked you in your houses, after they put you through the pandemic, after they bankrupted your country and your states, after they destroyed your police forces, after they put so many people out on the street, after they shipped all the jobs overseas. You know, you see these videos of people stealing iPhones and iPads and MacBooks out of the Apple store. Why? Because they can't buy them. Because there's no Apple factory in America where these people can work and make money and then go buy Apple products. Those jobs have all been moved to China. And now China can't even afford to produce those products. So what's Apple going to do? Where are they going to make their products? All the car companies have moved their manufacturing into Canada, into Mexico. They're also moving into China. Or they were, before China started falling apart. If you take all the jobs and move them out of the country, all the people who need jobs can't afford to live. They can't buy houses. They can't buy a $1,000 iPhone. So what are they doing? They're stealing them. And then what do? You defund the police force because it's racist. And you've created a perfect storm, a perfect hell for Americans to live in, which is why I don't live there anymore. As far as I'm concerned, Tucker Carlson is a whistleblower. He's a whistleblower against all the corruption in Washington, D.C., against all the corruption in the mainstream media. He should be protected. He should be honored and protected like a Julian Assange should be honored and protected, like Edward Snowden. These people put their lives on the line. They had their lives destroyed. Julian Assange and Edward Snowden had their lives destroyed to protect you, the American citizen, because the American government was acting unconstitutionally. And Tucker's been trying to point that out as well. We should protect these people. We should stand up for them. We should bring Tucker back on. This is Crazy Horse. Thanks for listening.